And hello, everybody.
Hello, hello, hello.
Welcome to another episode of
Off the cuff.
Off the cuff. Yes, it
Off
is
the
off
cuff.
the cuff.
That intro still gets me every time we listen to it.
I know it's a fabulous intro, man. I mean, you did a friggin' bang on job on that. That was
I'm gonna
that.
I'm gonna have to edit it and add in some of my pictures from my last trip.
Oh well, there you go.
Yeah, we'll have
Can you put
to.
us behind bars?
There might be a way to do that. Actually, there might be a way to do that.
Let us out. Let us out.
We could put ourselves in Alcatraz, even though you weren't even there.
Oh, there you go. I can be. I'm always there. I'm always there. Well, not in Alcatraz exactly, folks, but
Yeah.
so tonight, folks, I mean, it's not just me
No.
and
No.
that guy, is it,
No.
Mike?
No. There's someone hidden somewhere.
There's someone hidden.
I think she is in a rabbit hole.
Oh God, do we have to get out a shovel again? Well, folks, yeah, we do have a special guest. It is one of MPI's own. So without further ado, we are going to bring in our special guest. So please, everybody, say hi to our good friend, Amy.
Hi, guys.
Hello, her
Hello.
over there. That's Amy. Welcome to Off the Cuff Paranormal.
Oh, thanks for having me on, guys. It's great.
Um,
It's your first time. You're a rookie. You're a virgin.
Well, that's a rabbit hole we're not going down.
Well, don't they do like
there's nothing
virgin
paranormal
sacrifices?
about that, Mike.
Virgin sacrifices. Come on now. We got to sacrifice
Where's
you.
the sacrifice? Oh dear God.
Oh my god.
It's starting off perfectly.
And folks, if I do get giddy, Kay says evening. Hello, Amy. I know
Hi,
there's three other people watching. I'm not sure who they are yet. So guys, honestly, I know that she's done. Oh no, sorry. She's done homework. I know you've done homework. Me, folks, well, I'm just going to do what I usually do, and I'm going to wing it because, frankly, I have not had a chance to do homework. I've been too busy moving, packing, unpacking. Mm, you
Never
know,
fun. Anyone
but
that's moved knows it's not fun.
that's right. But I am in my new room, my new home here out in Langley. So yeah, I'm now a Langley. What do you call me? A Langley light? A Langleyite?
Oh my god. What a horrible. I mean, I'm a Surreyite. What do you call yourself, Amy? A Maple
a
Ridgeian?
maple. I call maple. I saw Maple Ridgian.
Or Maple. Oh, well, you see, she's got the best one, the Maple Ridgian. We're all ites, and she's an Ridgian.
A Langleyite sounds like you got some sort of disease.
Oh dear God. Well, folks, you guys came up with the idea. So what are we actually talking about tonight?
Um, it rhymes with Puckett Whist.
It rhymes with what?
Puckett
What,
Whist.
Mike?
Puckett. Bucket lists. We got like every. I know, right? Kay's probably going, "Oh dear God." No, every investigator has a like wish list, right, of places they would love to investigate if they ever could. So I thought it'd be fun to sit down and share our personal bucket lists. I think we probably have some that are maybe not so, well known. I think we probably do.
This was really hard. Like this was so hard. When you told me the topic, I was like rambling off like 30 places in about a minute. And I'm not joking. I spent all week just trying to narrow it down to 5. And
Yeah.
that was like impossible. And I was thinking about it was probably far more than I should have. I had to go take walks. I had to talk it over with my husband. And I'm like, oh my God. It was to the point where I couldn't even explain some of the hauntings anymore. It was like, wow.
I have 15 on my list.
Oh my God. I
15.
have
Yeah. Yeah,
I,
I started with a top 5, and then I got honorable mentions.
okay,
I
well,
have 8, but that was hard, and I. Mm.
I, I probably have a list, but
Mhm.
you know what? It'd probably be halfway through. I'll go, oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, yeah, and
I'll be
that's when I was researching. That's how I was. I was going, oh yeah, that was on my list. It's like
well.
it's like I don't keep a written list anywhere. It's just in like cyberspace up in here.
So let me ask you both this right off the bat, without because I know I'm just gonna ask you guys anyway to make sure you save. You got to save the best for last, of course. Can't
They're
just
all
give.
good. How do
They're
you
all
choose the
good
best?
though.
They're all
Yeah,
good.
Okay, but there's got to be one that's like right at the top of your list.
Oh my
yeah.
god.
I guess. I mean, if
Okay,
any of them were like, if I was able to investigate most of these places, I'd be like, okay, that's at the top of my list now.
all right. So, okay, so where do we want to start with this? I mean, Mike, you're in the middle. No pun intended.
Stuck in the middle with you, as they say, as the song
So
goes.
we'll go with one of yours right off the bat. You
Well,
know,
okay, I'm going to go
well,
with a really, really obvious one.
okay, can I just 1 second?
Yes,
Are we picking places from all around the world?
yes.
Mhm.
Okay, the floor is yours.
Okay, I'm going to go with a really obvious one to start off because I was just there. So, and we discussed it a lot in the last show from 2 weeks ago. I am not there anymore, obviously. You can look around me. I am not there. But Alcatraz would be so cool to investigate. Like knowing the history of that island, knowing everything that I just experienced.
Do, do,
It would be a dream to investigate that place.
do they even allow that though?
I think they only do like celebrity type stuff. They don't allow teams on there. No.
I
No.
thought they did at one point though.
Not that I've seen, not that I've come across that you can pay for anything like that. It's the tours and
Oh,
that's really about
maybe
it.
I'm thinking of like the ghost tours that they do.
Yeah, I mean, because like I did the nighttime tour, which is about as close as you're going to get.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll have to excuse me for 1 second, folks. I got to go turn up a light. I'll be right back. Not for me being alert or nothing.
I hear him. EVP.
I'm not really here.
Oh my God! Did you hear that?
Maybe he's under a
the
blanket.
apparition.
There we go.
Uh,
Okay, said you have to rent the whole island and the ferry.
yeah, I'm sure that wouldn't be a cheap venture to do.
But I
Yeah,
don't
we'll
believe
get
in
right on
ferries.
that.
So whatever revenue they make is what they charge you. Yeah, I mean, to get over to the island for me was what did it cost me? About all in about 75 US for the ferry ride and the tour.
Well, okay. Well, that's not bad for
Oh,
the
so
two
you
of
just
us.
Yeah, so I mean, they never once said anything like you can't have voice recorders on you or anything like that. I don't know if anyone would actually do that. I didn't want to ruffle any feathers. I was there to have fun. So, right? Like, could you imagine me like going around because I had the headphones they give you for the tour.
Yeah.
But like, can you imagine I'm going around with like voice recorder all of a sudden?
I'm sure people do it.
I'm sure.
They probably do it.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't, based on the videos I saw, Mike, you'd never get anything anyway.
There was too much noise. Like,
yeah, so much, there's so much stuff going on. It's like, holy crap.
Yeah. You'd want the place to yourself overnight, and they don't have anyone there except for maybe the park rangers, but that's about it.
Okay, said, Kay just said, she goes, so whatever revenue they make is what they charge. And that's that's times how many passengers for start. I'm sure I have a ranger friend there and he broke it all down for her. So,
yeah.
All right. So Alcatraz, I have to agree with that. I'd love to be able to do it.
Right.
Always a little apprehensive, maybe. I'd love to do it. I'd still do it. A little apprehensive because I just don't know what I'd pick up. But that's just me.
Yeah, I told you 2 weeks ago, like for you to go there with me or anyone else, it'd be like we'd be stopping every 30 seconds because we'd be going, I'm getting something. We'd be like, can we
Either
get
that,
on
or
with it?
I'd be heading in the opposite direction. Might be going, why is he running? All right. Amy, you're first.
Oh my gosh. Where do I start? Okay, I'm gonna choose Hannah House in Indiana.
Hannah House.
Hannah House. So Hannah House, it was in 1858. There was excuse me, a guy named Alexander Hannah, and he built this 24-room mansion, and he was very much in politics, and he was I think he was actually related to the Quakers, who were known to be against slavery, and so his home became part of the Underground Railroad. And in the basement of this house, he had a cellar. So when the rail, like these slaves came in onto his property, he housed them in the basement, and he gave them food, he gave them lanterns, shelter, and unfortunately, this one night, this lantern got knocked over, and a fire broke out, and it killed all the slaves in this basement.
Oh,
And
wow.
so, yeah, and so now this home is supposedly very haunted. There's obviously now a new owner, but the owner rents out this place to a family who has used this house as like an antique shop. And during renovations, activity has picked up in this house, where the daughter has been talking to a man that's lived in the house. Some of the crew that have come in to do some of the painting and some of the renovations, they've up and left, haven't come back. Because of just things flying off the shelves, being touched, disembodied voices. People that drive by have seen a woman in period costume standing up in the window looking down. There's been a sighting of a man on the property that just kind of waves at people every day, and he's in period clothing. And so they think it might be like the Hannahs that were originally in this house. But there's also been shadows and apparitions of potential slaves as well in this house. So it might be very interesting to check out.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where is it in the U.S.?
Yeah, it's down in Indiana.
Indiana.
Yeah.
I'm just running through the graphical locations in my head of the U.S. and it's just doing this right now. I know Indiana's down that way somewhere.
My geography is terrible.
Well, I do have a map, but I don't want to adjust my phone where I have it right now. But yeah, I can see it. It's there.
That would be I mean that would be, but that at the same time that's an incredible place to look into, because everybody perished, like, oh my God, like,
yeah,
ugh.
Yeah, I know, and the idea of like the original Hannah's still staying there to maybe protect the potential slave ghosts as well at the same time. I don't know. I think it's kind of fascinating, actually.
That'd be one heck of a. Now, has that place, to your knowledge, has it been investigated, like by any like ghost hunters or anything like that?
Yeah, I do believe that. I think ghost hunters may have gone there as well.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. I know it's been streamed before, but I just thought the whole story behind it was very fascinating. So.
Wow, that is cool.
Very cool.
That is very cool.
Yeah, so that's my first one.
Okay. I honestly don't have too many first ones myself. I really don't. The funny thing is, I was thinking about this, and although I really haven't had time to research it, and I'm going to one day, because I'd like to talk more about them. Do you guys ever remember a show from way back when, but it was strictly Canadian, and it was actually called Creepy Canada?
No.
Oh, I've heard of that.
Creepy Canada ran for, I do believe, about 6 or 7 seasons, believe it or not. And they looked at all the various haunted places across Canada. It was a really cool show. And it wasn't about any teams or anything involved like that. What it was more was the history of it and the places and the events that took place. And I've always wanted to go back and rewatch those programs and see some of the places. And a couple of them were even out here in BC for sure. That it was like, wow,
I'm going to
you
put
know.
screaming somewhere because it does sound familiar, actually, now that you talk about it a bit more.
Well, there was one. Excuse me, guys. Gotta get that out of the way. Somebody sent me a text. It's like everybody just disappeared. um, Swipe left. Yeah, exactly. It's like, there was one I know that I did a while ago, and it was back in Ontario, and it was a legend called the Screaming Tunnel. It's actually located in St. Catharines, Ontario.
Yeah.
When I went back to visit my sister, we went there. Pretty cool, pretty damn cool. When you walk into that,
I'm sorry, it was called the Screaming Tunnel.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's the Screaming Tunnel. No, sorry, it's the Blue Ghost Tunnel. I think was the one I went to. The Blue Ghost Tunnel, and then the
Okay.
Screaming Tunnel is a separate one. I did the Screaming Tunnel as well. The Blue Ghost Tunnel. I think there was a train accident in it. You can still follow the railway tracks and stuff. You can't go to the other end because there's too much water in it. But when you're in there, believe you me, I did recording on my phone, and I still swear I got some interesting stuff. But it was really hard to tell. I'll have to show you those recordings someday. You'll have to listen to them. You guys will go, really? Because we were asking questions.
Yeah.
And it was kind of neat. I was with my nephew and stuff at the time, so it was kind of neat. We went to the Screaming Tunnel later, which is only a really short tunnel. It's a hop, skip, and a jump from the highway. It's at a dead end road. There's nowhere to go. And apparently, if you go into the center of the road and light a match, either something will blow it out, like the wind, or you hear somebody scream, because supposedly somebody, from what I remember, lit themselves on fire in the Screaming Tunnel or something like that.
Oh, wow.
And you can hear the screams. Well, to light a match, that supposedly provoked that. Well, you know how many matches I lit?
Nothing
Never,
happened.
never. Just,
You
you
need
just
to
get
bring
one
one
lit.
of
It's
like
like
those
I got
electrical ones.
out. It's like
The barbecue lighters, just hold it on and see if they can blow that out. Watch the ghost get aggravated very, very quickly.
We tried it with a lighter too. No avail, no screams. But it was an interesting visit. But I mean, if you ever wanted to go to I would say the Blue Ghost Tunnel is a really cool one to do it. Make sure nobody's in the distance because you can hear voices from a long way off.
I bet.
Case said
Gettysburg.
was
Yes.
meant to go there.
Yeah.
Was a Tass family, but the COVID-19 struck in and blah blah blah
Yeah.
blah. Okay, number 2, Mike.
Yeah. So Gettysburg was definitely not. It was. I thought about it, but it's not on my top 15 apparently that I have here.
That was on my list, actually, Kate. I'm sorry, it's not on my list tonight, but yes, it was on my list, and it was like I had to cut something out because we only have an hour here,
right?
But Gettysburg was definitely on my list, and if we get to it, then I will say it.
It like we're already 20 minutes in. That just shows you how fast this hour goes by.
Yeah.
Okay. Again, it's somewhere that I've been, but I didn't obviously do any investigation there. But I chose the Paris catacombs.
Oh man!
That would be amazing.
Don't even go there. Oh, Mike, you had to.
Oh, I went there. I mean, I was creeped out. Not so much like when you try not to think about that you're surrounded by thousands and thousands and thousands of bones.
Yeah.
I was actually more creeped out about the fact, like, as I got further and further into the catacombs, the ceiling was going like this. And at one point it was touching my head. And I'm like, okay, if it gets any lower, I'm going to be like hunched over, and I couldn't handle that.
Yeah.
But it's so quiet down there. Like, if it would be the perfect place to do an investigation, because there's like literally no outside contamination noise at all, because you are 6 stories underground.
Yeah.
Oh wow, you're actually that far down. I never knew that.
Yes, you are that far down. It is just like, and it says, oh sorry, there's 6 million people buried down there, if you want to call it buried. Yeah.
Okay, Mike, let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Did I ever tell you about one of the pictures that you posted and what I saw behind you?
No, but now I want to go back to my pictures all of a sudden.
You need to post that picture for us all to see.
We will discuss that another time, but Yeah, I didn't say anything at the time. I'm like, I wonder if I should tell him.
So you saw something like, as in like an apparition, or in your mind's eye?
Mind's eye. Yeah,
Okay, I'm okay. I'm
yeah.
curious which one now, because again, as the further I went down into there, like it just started to it
You
gets to
were you were standing very close to a bunch of skulls that almost looked like a shelf behind you, and the skulls just
yeah,
peered back.
yeah. I know the
That one.
photo. I know the photo.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that one.
yeah. Yeah. So again, I thought, as I was there, and since I've been there, I would love to do an EVP session or any kind of investigation down there, just because it is the pure quietness. Like, if you got an EVP and you are certain it wasn't you,
Yeah.
it's guaranteed to be what you
But,
think it
but you know
is.
what? The most interesting part about that is not the fact that there is 6 million dead, but
Yeah.
besides that, could you imagine the history you could learn if you did the right questions?
Yeah.
The possibility of history
Right.
is just incredible.
I think that the tricky part would be, you would have to be doing the EVP sessions most likely in French if you're going to want to get any kind of response.
Start brushing up. Start brushing. Hey, that's why they have a translator on the phone, right?
Yeah, I mean, we got Google Translate, so you could do it, but
But
yeah.
but you'd be asking, "What is your name and how old are you?" And it would probably translate, "Why does he want to know where the toilet is?" I mean, I just don't understand.
Go back about 500 yards, go up those stairs that you just came down.
There you go. There you go. Amy, your next one.
Oh my God. Okay, so my next one is known to have is apparently incredibly haunted. They have counted about 999 happy haunts in this particular location.
You stole one from me.
So I'm talking about Disneyland in California. And I'm not just talking about the Haunted Mansion in general. I'm talking about like the entire park.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been so many times before, and I've had creepy experiences in certain areas. Nothing paranormally happening, but there's certain areas where you're feeling very uncomfortable, like you're being heavily watched. You know that you're not alone, even though you might be alone. And apparently, from what I understand, is that the people that work there, the haunting topic is probably one of the biggest topics backstage for all cast members, because there's every single part of the park has something going on in it. And
Wow.
so yeah, and so I just did some digging on ghost stories of cast members that have actually worked in the park. And apparently, like there's a Disneyland railroad that goes like around the park, and there's like a switchboard so they can see where all the trains are
Mhm.
at all given times. And there's one area of the park that after hours you can see that there's a train on the tracks, and and people can hear the whistle blowing of this train, but there's no train on the tracks in that particular particular area at that particular time, and it happens regularly. So that is one thing. And in the Haunted Mansion, actually, it's often that people feel touched. The staff, they take like the junior members, the people that have just started, they're the ones that are going to go into like the Haunted Mansion and do the walkthrough by themselves and clean it up, make sure everybody's out of there, because nobody wants to do the walkthrough of the Haunted
That's just
Mansion.
mean.
I do. I do.
Yeah. Apparently there's been sightings of like little kid ghosts on the tracks and voices. People have actually taken ashes to the
Yes.
park and have dumped them
And
throughout
you're
the
not
park and
supposed
in the
to.
Haunted Mansion itself. I mean, that's kind of creepy if you actually.
Yeah. You're not supposed to do
Oh.
that, but yes, I've heard of it happening.
Yeah, I mean, you'll get kicked out of the park for sure, banned
Yeah.
for life. But I mean, who wants to put their ashes in the Haunted Mansion? Like, I can think of better places. Okay, yes,
Yeah.
the Haunted Mansion's cool. I'm an investigator, but there's
Right.
places I wouldn't want to be in there. I wouldn't be like somewhere happy, like by the castle or something. I don't want to be in like a seance room with Madame Leota with like floating balls and such. That's just creepy.
I don't know if you knew this one, Amy, but there's also a video or a photo out there.
Yeah.
Because of course Disneyland has cameras that, all around the park because security
Yeah.
cameras and whatever.
Yeah.
And apparently an apparition of Walt Disney has been seen walking through the park
Yes, I have
on
seen
camera.
that. Yeah, that was where I was
After
going
hours.
next. I actually have a video, and on our Northern Paranormal Facebook page, I'll post this Disneyland video for everybody to see.
It's cool. And I know that I think I found the same page that you were looking at, Amy. There's like pages and pages of encounters that guests.
Oh my God,
and
there's
cast members.
hundreds of them. There's hundreds of them. I mean, I could sit here all night and tell you about the lady that got killed or something on the bobsleds, and how people still hear her, and the little girl that's been seen over in Disney's California Adventure, and she's very well known in certain areas of the park by a lot of people. I can go on and on. And on.
There's a lot, but that's one reason why it was on my list too. Yeah.
But who doesn't want to go to Disneyland? Come on, we gotta go investigate Disney one day.
Right? Like you could never do it during the day because it's just so damn noisy.
You'd have to do it after.
Ever were able to get in there for the night.
Yeah.
How cool.
Yeah, actually, one more the one that I actually kind of very fascinating is that in Disneyland on the oh my gosh, Space Mountain. Apparently, there's a ghost that will sit in one of the empty seats, and it's been seen. That one too. Yeah. He's been apparent, and I think that's actually on the video I'm gonna post. Is they may have actually caught him sitting in one of the seats.
See, personally, if I was a ghost, if you have the choice to come back anywhere in the world and you don't want to be with your family, I'm going to California.
Oh yeah, me too. Absolutely.
California, a whole new meaning to California adventure theme parks. I'll tell you.
Right.
Holy jeez. And call it Ghost Advent. No. I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
No.
I didn't say that.
I didn't hear anything, Daryl. I heard nothing. Nope.
Well, I would have to probably say I would love to do the Tower of London.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know a lot of the tales of it, but I do know that it's got quite a history to it.
There's a lot of tales.
And I don't even think they allow it, but it would be one hell of an investigation, I think, to try and do it. For the history alone, I think it would be incredible to be able to do the Tower of London.
Agreed.
But again, I'm rattling things off the top of my head here, right?
Yep.
But that would be one I think I would really like to do if I ever had the opportunity.
With the number of years of history in that place, there's got to be something there.
And I mean, the possibility of hearing a scream is probably pretty damn good.
Yeah. I didn't hear anything when I was there, but then again, I wasn't really listening for it.
Well, if you're doing a tour, you're probably not going to hear it anyway. But I mean, if you're sitting there by yourself somewhere,
maybe.
I mean, if you didn't, I'd just scream down the hall anyway, just to scare the hell out of
you. You wouldn't do that, Daryl. No.
Lock yourself in the Iron Maiden.
No, I when I was there, I didn't have any paranormal experiences. How about you, Amy?
No, I actually didn't have any. I just found it. There are some areas that felt off.
Yeah.
There was some hallways where I felt like there was somebody walking behind me, and you turn around, there's nobody there. Yeah. But
I think
I didn't have anything happen. But no, that would be such a fascinating place to absolutely investigate. And there's actually cells that have prisoner graffiti and everything all over the walls. I thought that was really cool, and that was down by Trader's Gate, which is where traders would come in on the boat, and that would be the last sight they would ever see of London as they came in before they were executed. So,
oh, lovely.
Right. Yeah.
Well, I've never been, so hopefully one day I'll get a chance to go.
Yeah.
For me, the armory was really creepy.
I love the armory. That place is so cool. Yeah. That was probably the heaviest, or the Bloody Tower.
Yeah.
I love that. I love the names. I love the names, man.
They don't shy away from it, do they?
No, they don't.
They don't hold back.
And the great thing about them, though, they're not afraid of their past. No. They don't bury it.
No, that's what the one thing I gotta give the Brits is that it doesn't matter how disturbing or how happy, they're just proud of who they are. So I got to
Well,
give that to them.
yeah, and they bring it out. Hey, this is
Mhm.
us, man. This
Yeah.
here you go.
Take it or leave it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
why shy away from what your history was? This is what it is, right?
That's right.
Mhm.
And no, we're
Alberta.
not kissing butt for you, Kay.
Yeah. Any comments from Kay? Kay says Windsor Castle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Windsor be
Kay goes,
fabulous.
hello, I'm here. All right, Mike,
Oh,
on to
man.
your next.
Okay, let's see. Where should I go next? Should I go off the board? I'm
Yes,
gonna go
go.
off the board. I'm gonna go off the board on
Jump,
mine.
jump.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
This was actually mentioned in a news story from. Do you remember when you and I went on CKNW, Daryl, and we talked to Mike Smith?
Yes.
Okay, so he posted a story in the Vancouver province back in 2014 about this place. It's none other than the legislature buildings in Victoria.
I was just thinking that.
Yeah.
That never even crossed my mind, Mike. That's kind of a neat place.
Right. And he says it's actually part of a almost like a Bermuda Triangle of haunted locations in Victoria. You basically have a triangle where it's the Empress,
Yeah.
you have the legislature buildings, and then you have the James Bay Inn, which is a hotel.
Yeah.
So it's the three of them they're the three most apparently haunted places in Victoria.
The Victoria,
I didn't know
the
this. This is
Victoria
really
Triangle.
fascinating.
Right?
I
Yeah.
never heard anything about that.
Yeah.
Well, the funny thing is, in the legislature, it's
Yeah.
mostly the bottom floor,
Okay.
the floor under the main, right?
Mhm.
The lower basement floor. That's where they say some of this activity happened, and there's other areas that I know that certain things and certain figures have been seen.
Yeah.
I don't exactly remember their names, but I know people have seen different things there. And the funny thing is, a couple years ago, I know this lady has passed on now, but she was a sensitive that I went and saw every once in a while, and she nails stuff on me that I would sit there like this, and she was nailing it. And she said, now this is past now, it's past the time, but she said, I know I can say by how much, but she said at one point in time, you're going to get invited to do the legislature. And I'm like, if that happens, I'm going to be impressed.
Right? Yeah,
so who knows?
that'd be
Maybe
so
one day
cool.
we'll actually get a call and we'll be like, where are we going? Hey guys, we're all going to the legislature.
Apparently, like it says here, some guy that I doubt he still works there, some guy named Craig James. He was a clerk at the legislature. He said many of the staff around here have seen things and heard things they can't explain. People see black cloaks floating down the hallway, down the speaker's corridor, past to the chamber. They get into the library. People get scared. Security people have seen them. Apparently, they think it's Francis Rattenbury.
That's it. Yeah.
Who designed the Parliament building and
Yeah.
also designed the Empress.
But he's not the only one that's been seen.
No.
There was I can't remember where I heard it. Now I don't know if it's true and there was something about a woman or a female figure, but I can't remember. I think there was something, but I maybe I'm mistaken, but I thought there was something about a female figure too. But
so it's not to do with the Parliament buildings, but at the James Bay Inn is Emily Carr. She died in that hotel.
No, this had something to do with the legislature, but I don't remember. I'll have to look it up. There was something that I remember reading about it, but I'll have to find out. Kay said I stayed in the Strathcona a week back. Old hotel was the Empress Block. And the Empress Block has a feel to it. Did I read that right?
I know the 1K. I stayed there too.
Yeah.
It was super creepy.
Oh, Old Hotel was the Empress Block. Has a feel to it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they turned it into like apartment buildings now. I'm sure that they've turned it into like apartments. They've kind of renovated into that.
Yeah.
But because I was staying there shortly before they started all these renovations, or maybe it was even during the time that they started switching everything over. And it was funny because my mom had actually stayed there like a week before with a friend of hers, and they were down this one hallway, and they had things that were moving in this hotel. They felt watched. And my mom's friend, who wasn't religious at all, actually went out. She bought some candles, and she was looking out the window at the church across the street, and she's like praying, and she's like,
Oh
"Don't let
my God.
anything happen." And so I stayed there a
Wow.
week later, and I didn't realize I was staying on the same floor in the same hallway, and it was really creepy.
Cool.
There's
So
some hotels have that creepy factor to them for sure. Like,
it was
Yeah.
definitely, yeah. It
Yeah.
needed some love. It was very outdated.
Yeah. Well,
it needed some
we
love.
actually, myself, Nikki, and I do believe, oh God, what was her name? Jesus, now, oh Christ, one of the other members. I'm drawing a blank, but anyway, we actually stayed at. No, it was me, Nikki, and Connie. I think might have been me, Nikki, and Connie. Might have been us three. I don't remember. I thought it was the other one, but anyway, we stayed at is it the Sylvia Hotel down on the beach there?
In
It's where what's his
I
name?
don't know.
Is it the Sylvia? No, the Sylvia. It's where oh my God,
Vancouver?
it's right on where they do the fireworks.
Yeah, that's the Sylvia.
Yeah, the Sylvia Hotel. That's where what's his name died? Errol Flynn. Apparently, he died in that hotel and then was taken to where we all know. So, all right, Amy, on to your next.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Well, I'm going to keep this one in England. I'm going to go to Chillingham Castle.
Say that again.
Chillingham Castle.
Chillingham.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Yeah.
just chilling.
It's very chilling. I mean, this is probably this is not like a nice palace that you want to visit. It's happy. This is dark. This is gruesome. There's nothing nice about this place. So basically, this is like 1,000-year-old castle. And back in like 1266, when Edward I went off to Scotland to fight with William Wallace over the Battle of Falkirk, he actually had an executioner that was there was a guy. His name was John Sage, and he was like a lieutenant or something in the army, and he hated the Scots. He moved his way up in the English, I guess, military, and Edward had brought him on as the executioner at this particular castle. So when the Scots were brought back to England as like prisoners, this particular man, John Sage, he apparently killed over 7,000 people on site. And over the 10 years that he actually worked at this location. And this castle has stayed in the same family for over 1,000 years. You can actually stay there now as like an overnight stay. They rent out some rooms. They do paranormal investigations that you can actually go and participate in. But this place is so actively haunted. They actually think that John Sage is still there. They still have like it's like a demi torture chamber in the basement, so you can actually go in and see like the equipment, and there's a lot of activity that happens in there. But there's also some sort of a connection to it was not witchcraft, but there was somebody that stayed there. I have notes here that they were like in the occult, and they did like I don't know if it was seances but they were into voodoo or something. They were something into like heavy like witchery. But people that actually go there nowadays, people that actually steal things from the castle, they will return the item with a letter saying, "I'm so sorry," because they think that this person had actually like hexed them. And so they send things back. And so there's been lots of apparitions and sightings of kids and people, and lots of screams. There's so much activity that's constantly going. But
wow,
it's so dark.
I mean, and it would be really cool to do, but probably unbelievably could be downright terrifying too at the same time if you think about it.
Yeah, people that just go there for like just a visit, just to walk around during the day, are incredibly creeped out by what they experience there and the energies that they feel.
You'll have to send me a link to that castle, because I'd love to take a look at that, read more about it.
Oh yeah, you can even like YouTube the castle. There's so many videos on it. It's awesome.
but
Cool.
yet there's no chilling hams.
Wow, Mike.
What a ham. God. All right, Mike, your next top two.
Okay. I'm going to go down to America again. But I'm going to be in California again, of all things, believe it or not. I'm going down because this has been on my bucket list forever and a day. Not only to investigate, I just want to go see it. It's the Queen Mary.
That would have been on my
yeah,
bucket list. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've done that. I've investigated that one.
I know you have, and that's why I'm like super jealous of you because
So did Mike and Bev.
Oh, it was awesome. It was so great. I actually have pictures of something in the pool area. I'll have to show you later. It was like something coming into frame and then leaving.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Like the stories that are on it, like oh my God. But like people have tried to debunk the claims too. Like they're like, well, that didn't actually happen. Like this person never actually died on this boat. They actually died here. And it's like I get it. People want to debunk it and take away from it, but I mean, really, how cool would it be to investigate that? And I know you have, Amy, but it's just like right up there, like right near the top of my.
It would be cool, but you know what? It would be cool to do the offshoot areas and not the as par for the course areas. You know what I mean?
It would be cool to have free reign, basically.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's next on my list.
Okay.
That's a good one.
I got one really quick one. And again, guys, I haven't done my homework on this. But Vlad's Castle, Romania.
I was gonna say Romania. Yeah.
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 Castle.
That was on my list, Daryl. That was on my list.
That would be, I think, an absolute blast to do. I mean, just I would say there's a lot more stories tied to it than there's enough facts alone. But there's a lot of stories probably tied to it, and the whole history of everything tied to it. As soon as you walk through the door, you're going to start thinking, what the hell am I going to run into? It'd be that kind of thing. I would love to do it. That's all I can say about Vlad's Castle, man. I just love to do it.
Yeah, that would be really cool. I mean, just to even go there and see that part of the world would be like bucket list type stuff, but to actually do an investigation there too would be, oh my God. Yeah. That'd be like the ultimate investigation ever.
Well, if I ever win the big lottery, man.
Well, I got a ticket upstairs. Maybe that's the one.
It's in my purse, Mike. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry to burst your bubble. But you'll know when I win because we'll have like a one-way ticket to Romania.
A little side. This totally goes sideways on this, but how many times have I asked on investigation to give me the winning lottery numbers, and no ghost seems to be able to know those numbers? It never happens.
It's been disappointing. I'm not gonna lie. It's been disappointing.
I've asked for it so many times.
Well,
I can't even get them to do the dishes when I ask. So.
No, I just wake up and there's more dirty ones. What do you do, right? God.
Maybe we just need to say, okay, we want to come visit you or Vlad or whoever in Romania. Give us the numbers. Is it that hard, really?
Yeah.
Fairly. All right, Amy, on to your next. We're going to run shy on time here, so.
Okay, so my next one is actually going to be Rose Hall in Montego Bay, Jamaica. I don't know if you guys have heard of the Annie Palmer story. So Annie Palmer, she was born in Britain, but then her and her parents, they moved to Haiti, and Annie had a nanny who was heavily into voodoo, and unfortunately Annie's parents died of yellow fever very young, so Annie ended up being raised by this voodoo priestess until she ended up passing away. But at the time, it was basically during the time where colonists from Europe were coming over to into like the Caribbean areas, and they were building like plantation homes and such. And so to feel a little bit more at home with her British roots, she ended up taking a trip to, actually she just moved over to Jamaica, where it was like under British colony. And she ended up meeting a guy named John who had this plantation. And their theory that the story is that Annie was heavily into voodoo herself, and she put a hex on John, and he fell in love with her because of the voodoo spells that she put on him. But so when they got married, she ended up killing him, and yeah, she killed him. She ended up getting the house. She married a couple more times, killed them as well, but she was also having affairs with some of the slaves on this plantation that she was now running. Apparently she was like ruling with like an iron fist. She was very abusive to all these poor slaves that were there, but she was having some affairs with them, and then when she got bored, she killed them too. She had like a basement, like a cellar that she would do these acts in.
Oh my God.
And I guess one day this one particular slave, he was very upset about what she had done to, I think, his granddaughter. And so he kind of raised a little bit of an army, and they stormed in, and they ended up murdering her. And now it sounds like her spirit has been seen all over this plantation on many different occasions. And even Johnny Cash wrote a song about this whole Annie Palmer story. It was so famous that he wrote a song about it.
Yeah, that's just downright, like, she's worse than a Black Widow, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, I was going to say, she sounds like a very pleasant person, like,
yeah,
in the most sarcastic way possible.
Yeah.
Better watch it, or you're going to get the Iron Fist.
Yeah.
Well, for that voodoo.
I don't know. You can now go and actually visit this plantation and this stately home now, and I actually have the opportunity to actually go and see it in December. I don't know if I'll have the time to do it. I'm kind of crossing my fingers, but we'll see.
Cool. Very cool.
So
if you do, you'll have to make sure you friggin' let us know.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see how it goes.
Very cool. Mike, on to your next.
Okay. This one is at the top of the top of the top of my list. You were asking which one would be at the very top. It's the Ohio State Reformatory.
Oh. I've seen that one on TV a few times.
Just a few times, and it's no coincidence that it's also from one of my most favorite movies, is the Shawshank Redemption. It is Shawshank Prison. I almost went there instead of San Francisco, believe it or not. I was that close.
Wow.
There was actually something. It was a paranormal convention of some sort going on, and I was like, you know what? I might just go do that. But I did not. I chose Alcatraz over that, which,
you're
no
on
shame
like a
in that.
prison kick tonight, Mike.
I know, right? Like, what's going on? Like, I actually had a couple other prisons on my list. Like, I actually had Idaho State Prison, and
that was cool.
There was another one on my list. I can't remember. I closed it now, but yeah, like, it would be so cool to do that reformatory. Like,
yeah.
Kay also pointed out
it was also. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, I did not know that. And I know that some TAPS teams have done Ohio State. I know that it's been done. I'm not saying it hasn't been done. I'm not saying it's not possible to be done, because I looked it up and you can do investigations there. It's just for us to get there from Vancouver, it's not easy.
No, that is true. It's a little bit. Just a little bit out of the way.
It's just a little bit, like, to get there. I think the easiest way for me was to go from Vancouver to Toronto and then drive down, which would probably be the most easiest way. But yeah, still.
Yeah, because there's been a couple other groups that I think have gone down there and done that. So
yeah,
I mean, it would be. Yeah, I have to admit that. Yeah, that would be up there for me. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt.
Yeah.
And even just from a photographer standpoint, I would probably have my heyday going on in there.
Oh my gosh, you get so many good photos.
I probably have so many more photos than EVPs for sure.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's a guarantee.
Very cool.
That's right at the top of my list. It's like not only paranormal investigation bucket list, that's visit bucket list. It's like right at the top. So there you go. That's my number one.
Yeah.
Amy.
I think it's your turn, Daryl.
Oh, I'm still considering.
Okay, well, this will be I guess one of my last ones. The Birdcage Theater in Tombstone, Arizona.
Tombstone.
Well, there goes one of mine.
I know there's been so many people that like have investigated or even visited, but oh my god, what a great place! I mean, like,
Actually, Holly and Ken were
I
down
think
there.
I was gonna say Holly and Ken. I think had
Yeah,
gone
Holly, Ken, Nikki, Patrick.
Yeah.
I can't remember who else all went down
there. Yeah,
and did investigations and stuff down there.
yeah.
So, yeah, Tombstone would be. I would, yeah. If I don't know which one I'd go to between the two of those first. I don't have a clue. I
Oh
mean,
my
that
god, I don't know. I mean,
I'd
I
love.
think there was like, wasn't there like 26 people like that like died or something in that property or something? I don't know. I know there's like a bunch of bullet holes, like 140 bullet holes or something alone in that whole saloon.
I have no idea, but we can find out. That's easy enough. I
Yeah.
think there's lots of people out there that know. I'd
Mhm.
have to look that up, but yeah, I would dare to say, yeah, that was one of my top. My top one.
Mhm.
Hmm. I probably wouldn't last more than an hour. Um, it would probably be now. I would have to have an interpreter. This would be one that I just think because of its history, and I'm going to say the name of it wrong. It's off the coast of Venice.
Oh, I know the one.
Is that
I know it.
that little island?
Mhm.
Pol,
Paveglia. Was it
yeah,
Paveglia?
yeah. I was going to say it
Paveglia.
wrong. Yes, but absolutely right. It is an island that originally it held prisoners. It held people that were infected by various diseases. It was a island. There was bizarre things done on it. The old doctor committing suicide, the nurses committing suicide. Hundreds, if not thousands, of bodies are buried on that property. I don't even think I think it's privately owned now. I don't even think
You can't go over. The government won't let anybody step foot over there.
There was a group that did do an investigation there.
Yeah,
I
it's the team that you don't want to mention.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I know they went on it, and I guess that would be the one time I watched that show. And I have to admit, I not that I was really impressed with them that much, but that was back at the time where they were doing things a little more
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
And that it was just such an incredible place.
yeah.
And when you go into Venice by cruise ship, you not that far from it. It is a really unique place. And I think if I could get into it's
Paveglia.
Poveglia, right?
I'm
Uh,
hoping I'm even saying it right,
no,
Joe.
I do believe it's Poveglia. And yeah, I see she wrote it. Poveglia. Kay wrote it. Thank you, Kay.
Okay.
It's Povlegio. And it's. I think it would be overwhelming for anybody on there. But I think it would be a huge opportunity if we were ever given the go ahead. So that would be something that I would do in a heartbeat if they said, yeah, go out and do it. But if they said, we can't get it till the morning, I'd be like, okay, the whole damn team better be there because I ain't staying there by myself. Let me tell you.
No, something like that you wouldn't want to do by yourself, Daryl.
It would be a group
not.
sleep. I'd be like,
We'd have people on watch while others slept.
yeah, can you go out in that other corridor and just watch for us, please? No.
Like you get any sleep to begin with.
That's right. You're one or two people on watch with everybody sleeping around them.
we're gonna be surrounded in the circle of salt.
I was just thinking, you don't sleep in like the shape of a pentagram either, right? That's probably not a good idea.
That's a terrible idea.
Kay just wrote Povelia. I like oh God, now I get Poveglia. She goes Povelia.
Oh, the
Well,
T is silent.
I like Poveglia. Sounds
Yeah.
Yeah,
better.
me too.
just
Sorry, Kay. Kay
I
just mentioned. Kay just mentioned for a good mix.
oh God, the Island of Dolls.
Yeah, that thing is cool. Creepy.
Yeah. You know
But
what?
definitely.
Funny story. Okay, so while I was away 2 weeks ago, I leave my Annabelle doll. Speaking of dolls, I leave my Annabelle doll up on my display cabinet above my desk. She fell off there while I was away, and it scared the shit out of my wife. She left her where she fell until I came back. She was
Oh
even going to pick
dear.
her up.
You don't have
How
cats,
awesome
do
is
you?
that? I picked her up and went, "Oh, you scared them, did you?" Put her back.
She missed you. She missed you.
He was like, "Where did he go? I gotta fall off now."
Exactly. Oh my God. Oh wow. Oh, this has been a great show, guys. I mean, you don't, we talk about a lot of stuff, but I mean, to actually hear some of the tops, that's really great. And Amy, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on board.
Oh, I had a
Um,
blast.
and we'll have you back again. I mean,
Yep.
there's always going to be other things that we're going to talk about. You know us, you
More
never
rabbit
know.
holes to go down, you know?
Oh, there's lots
Eggs.
of rabbit holes.
You got it. Tons of rabbit holes. Just depends how far we want to dig.
Well, that's where we found Amy. We found you in a rabbit hole, Ames.
You did. You,
Well, we got about a couple minutes left. Any
Well,
honorable mentions?
yes. I also had Penhurst Asylum on my list,
Mm-hmm.
and I
yep,
also
that was
had
on my.
yeah, that was probably on yours. I figured it'd be on yours. I
Yeah.
also had a little bit of a local one because I've stayed there a number of times, but the Hume Hotel in Nelson.
Yep.
Yep.
That'd be good. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and one more. The Stanley Hotel as well in Estes
Yep.
Park, Colorado.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
And I'm gonna also throw out the Jonathan Corwin House in Salem, which is known as the one building that's still standing that has to do with the witch trials.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Cool.
That one. Yeah.
Well, that's pretty cool.
And you were asking about how many people died in Tombstone?
Mm-hmm.
Between 1879 and 1884, so 5 years, 300 people were buried in the Tombstone graveyard, and 121 of those were not of old age. There you go.
There's a lot of lead. There's a lot of lead in that hill.
There's a lot.
There's a lot. There's a lot. Oh my God. Well, guys, again, Amy, thank you so much for joining me and Mike on Off the Cuff. It's been a pleasure. We will have you on again soon.
Sounds good.
For everybody else, for myself, Daryl,
Hey, me, Mike.
and
Amy.
way over there. Thank you all again for joining us on Off the Cuff Paranormal. It's been a pleasure having you, and look for us again in 2 weeks because you just never know what rabbit hole we're going to go down. Anyway, guys, good night, and we'll see you next time.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.